Welcome back to the CuttyandGovy Show. We're in beautiful downtown Boca Raton. The car transport trucks are taking loads of people out of here. Town's quieting down. Today it was 89 degrees on my car thermostat. Gavi, we're all over the place. Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Our reels are blowing up. Last week we had a reel go viral. I think it was over 400,000 views on this reel where we said on these college campuses they should just leave the graffiti on the walls for years. So when the kids and the parents walk by, they can be disgusted by what's going on these college campuses. But we'll get to that later on in the show. Let's just start out with a little basketball because that's what's happening. Besides baseball, basketball, your New York Knicks.
I'm a Knicks fan. You know, I told you. I'm a diehard Sixer fan, but I told you one of my closest friends is running the New York Knicks. And he has 3 guys from Villanova. And they're a hard-working, they're a likable team. So it's easy to cheer for them because you see them hustle. They have a lot of injuries. They played. They're getting a lot of calls. I have to admit, the referees are giving them some calls. The referees have been horrible in this series, especially to Indiana. But the Knicks are just a likable team that puts out 110% effort.
So they're 2-0, right?
2-0.
And what is this? Is 5 games? Or
7. Best out of 7.
Best out of 7.
So look, they're so banged up. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost this series. You know, they could lose. They could lose 4 games in a row to this Indiana team. They're a good team, and you know, there's only so much when you're down 3 starters and 2 backups. It's a lot of players to go through. But I do think Minnesota is going to win the whole thing. They have a guy named Anthony Edwards. You heard it here. You probably heard from a lot of other people. He is the next closest thing to Michael Jordan that the NBA has seen. Forget LeBron James.
Boy, did you see LeBron James this week? He said Michael Jordan wouldn't be that good if he played, in today's era. Is this guy dreaming? I mean, look at the great players back then. Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, how can he make it?
You can't even compare.
James, he doesn't even stand for the national anthem. I don't even understand it. Because a guy has all these millions of dollars and he can dribble a basketball, he thinks he has a microphone to be abusive.
Right. And you can never compare eras. I've now that I'm getting older, and when I was younger, I always wanted to go with the younger players that were my generation, and I remember my father telling me, "Oh, this guy was great," and I was like, "That was so long ago. It can't possibly be as good as these players." And you see it in all sports. You see it in baseball.
Golf.
Like I gotta tell you, in baseball, back then you saw pictures of Steve Carlton and Nolan Ryan. No, they used to pitch 9 innings. Complete games was a big thing. Today, just get to the 6th inning, and they have a guy that pitches the 7th inning, the 8th inning, the 9th inning. So you can't compare Bob Gibson versus some of these other young guys today.
We have a new follow. Nice guy at my gym, Lifetime. Shout out to Lifetime. Doug. His son, Christian, is Christian Scott. Follow him, 24-year-old. Just pitched his first game for the New York Mets.
Wow.
He went 6 innings, gave up 1 run. Amazing. He did a great job.
In the big leagues?
Big leagues.
Oh.
He came up from the minors. He's 24. Christian Scott. Follow him, everybody. Frat boys are on it because they're Mets fans up there, believe it or not, when they're not Phillies fans. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Every other sport, everybody likes to compare. But, I mean, this LeBron James, shut the hell up.
Yeah, like
he's 39. Go retire.
Well, he's going to want to play 1 year with his son. The problem is it's not LeBron James who didn't keep his end of the bargain. His deal was, I'm going to play until I'm 40 if I have to play with my son. It's his son who isn't living up to his end of the bargain.
Well, he had a heart attack, didn't he?
No, yeah, heart fibrillation. But the bottom line, he's still playing where he's okay. The problem is, forget it, the heart problems. He just isn't that good.
Right. Well,
so, it's like asking Jack Nicklaus if it was a team sport. Come on, Jeff Nicklaus. Can't you be like Rory No, he's not. Michael Jordan didn't have his son because
would that be a first father-son in the NBA?
No, because
That's pretty unbelievable if you can do that. Well, play with your son on the same team.
The first people that you're going to see is there's a player for Kentucky. He's going to transfer probably to Arkansas. His name's DJ Wagner. His dad was Wani Wagner, and he played for Cleveland. He was the 6th player taken in the draft. And his father was Milt Wagner, who won a NCAA championship with Louisville and a World Series championship with the Los Angeles Lakers. They're going to be the first grandfather, father, and son all playing in the NBA, all being first-round draft picks. And that's
pretty unbelievable.
And they all went to Camden High School.
It's like the Mannings, right? You know, the father,
right?
Two sons.
They all went to Camden High School. And to let you know, DJ's handpicked coach, because they're all together, his handpicked, basically, basketball coach at Camden High School was Rick Brunson, who, when the Knicks signed Jalen Brunson, they took Rick away from Camden High School's basketball team and made him an assistant coach on the New York Knicks.
Unbelievable. Well, anyway, let's just jump into, winners.
Stormy, you want to get in?
No, winners and losers. Unfortunately, we don't have a live audience here, but the winners this week look like Palestine and these kids that are
and
Hamas that are calling the shots. The losers are us Americans, us idiots that are paying.
And Israel.
Right.
Right.
This is a winner and a loser. I mean, can you imagine that these kids are negotiating with Columbia, Brown, and they're getting like these crazy things?
I don't quite understand that. Like, to me, you're 18 years old and or 17 when you're applying to colleges, and you're doing anything they say. They say jump 10 feet high, you're doing it. They say work in a soup kitchen, you're doing it. You're doing anything to make your resume look like that they could choose you because you're devastated if you can't get your choice to get into college. Then you walk into the college, you get your feet wet, you're like a little snot-nosed kid at 18 years old, and now you're telling the school on where they should invest their money. They're telling them they have to divest from Israel. Who are these kids?
They're winning, though.
It's because, you know what? It's because the presidents are not qualified. And what, by the way, some of their demands are to have more Palestinian professors come into this country. To teach what? To teach that Western culture is bad. That Palestinians, by the way, are raised to be terrorists and to hate Jews from the time that they're in kindergarten. So you want to bring that type of educational person to come in to teach our schools to brainwash us even more. This didn't happen overnight. We're brainwashed. These young students are brainwashed right now, and they only want more and more professors from this part of the world. And there's so much pressure that he's trying to get Palestinian refugees. I mean, they're raised as terrorists, and Joe Biden's saying, let's bring them into this country. What could go wrong?
I mean, all I have to say to the Palestinians and these teachers, if Donald Trump runs the table like it looks like he's going to do, and he becomes president, watch out. He's coming after you. Well, you guys are getting tossed. Everybody's getting tossed.
They're not going to be tenured as a professor.
It's all going to change.
The first thing he's going to say to these universities is, federal money, we got to start teaching. You got to start getting,
He may bring Chris Christie back to be his attorney general.
and I truly believe that we have to cut down. There should be X amount of foreign students that come into our program. And we have to open up the schools that you shouldn't be turning down Americans that, let's say, they want to get into Harvard or Penn or Princeton or anywhere. It shouldn't be that, I'm sorry, we got 14,000 foreign students here and we only have like 20,000 U.S. It should be much more skewed that
whole immigration thing is only for honest people. A friend of mine fell in love with this girl. She's Brazilian, and they're throwing her out of the country. She's been here, I don't know, legally for a period of time. Her visa or whatever is expiring, and they're tossing her out. He had to pay $30,000 to an immigration lawyer, yet all these people are coming across the border and just staying. It doesn't even seem to matter. But anyway, let's get to Israel, because that's
all over a girl.
All over a girl.
Just want to say one thing. I'm just going to take this off thing. But I got to tell you, the thing on the news about this American soldier, by the way.
What an idiot.
That guy caught being in Russia all because the
He
girl
deserves to stay there.
That is where you look at how powerful a girl is.
Wait, it's an adulterous affair, he's married. He has a kid.
I know. He's married with the kid, and all of a sudden, she played him. He decides he's going to go into Russia, even though he knows that all these people have been kidnapped. He knows who's already in jail there. But the power of this girl that he said, I don't care. And now all of a sudden,
he's in Russia.
And he wants the United States to negotiate for him.
Give 100 or 200 bad guys back, to let this idiot out because he chased some girl.
I want to say stay there. That's all you want to do is say stay there.
And it was over $600 or something like that.
Crazy. You talk about the most powerful drug in the world.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know what I could only imagine. But
anyway, getting back to Israel, look, I'm looking right in the camera, not at you, Gavi. If you're a Jew and you vote for Joe Biden based upon what he's doing now to Israel, I mean, the Congress passed this arms deal, gave him all these arms, and now he alone is saying, I'm not shipping these arms because of this Palestinian nonsense. I mean, use your power to try and influence Donald Trump to do different things rather than vote Joe Biden. Put some pressure on Donald Trump to move in a direction. You kids today, the liberals today. I'm a liberal, but I can't. This Israel thing basically shut me down. I'm done. Joe Biden's dead to me. I can't listen to the guy. I can't follow the guy. I can't vote for the guy.
Well, what's worse than that is, he relies on the media to cover for him. But what has to be said that hasn't really been mentioned on ABC or NBC or CBS or those stations is the Congress wanted to pass a standalone bill for Israel aid, then Ukraine aid, then the border. And Joe Biden insisted that Israel's aid and Ukraine's aid was in one bill.
Do you think he knew this up front? It was a plan?
I think 100%. All of a sudden, they passed the bill.
Right.
And now it's like, okay, Israel, not so fast. For you to get yours, we have new rules for you. That's not how you negotiate. That's not how you go up to Congress and say it's... Otherwise, it would have been a standalone bill. But instead... Could you imagine if all of a sudden this bill that comes out and someone says, okay, Ukraine, that was another bill that was passed. We're giving you nothing.
But do you believe for a minute Israel's out of munitions? I mean, these guys, they're built for war. I mean, they got warehouses full of crap.
There's one idiot that can lower our reserves in oil, and that idiot is Joe Biden.
Right.
He's the guy.
Our strategic oil reserve is at zero.
We probably have
the yellow light on your car is on.
We probably have less than what they're telling us, and we're going to be pulled off to the side of the road, and we're going to need hi Iran or Venezuela, we need can you fill us up? Here's our tank. But Israel, my guess is they're probably making their own weapons, and if you wanted to give them weapons, they'll take them too. But my guess is they're producing their own weapons. They have a big storage thing. They didn't go down and say, oh, we're down to 4 weapons. I think they're going to destroy Palestine without the U.S.'s help. They're going to show the world that they didn't need the United States, which isn't the best thing in the world because now people will have their independence. And
well, Gavi, you know all these big shot New York Jewish rich guys. Get one of them on the show. I mean, I would like to have an intellectual discussion with one of them and try and understand, walk me through what you're thinking here. I mean, Israel, forget it's a Jewish state. It's the only democracy in the Middle East. We need it strategically.
It's westernized.
Yeah, we need it strategically to fight our wars if there's a World War III. I mean, I don't even understand how anybody can side with the Hamas. There was a ceasefire October 6th. There was not a ceasefire October 7th.
Right. What's crazy is they had a guy that they interviewed the other day. He was a black guy that was in Israel visiting, and he came back. And they asked him, what surprised you the most about Israel? And he said how diversified it was. Like, he thought he was going in there and he was going to see, like, a bunch of white Jewish people. But it's not. There's a lot of, black Jewish people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Jewish people that are all different colors, and he saw that there's gay and that everybody has a freedom. You could be Catholic, you could be Muslim. They all get along in Israel. It's you have a right to free expression.
I met a gal last night, very attractive woman. Her name is Sarah. Shout out to Sarah. I begged her to come on the show, and I guess maybe we'll talk about it. But she was in Israel a month ago, and she said it was unbelievable. What an experience. Wouldn't you love to talk to her and find out what the hell is going on the ground there, what the people are thinking?
They must feel so deserted from what took place. And, they tried to make Netanyahu to be their scapegoat when it's all of them. Israel is united on this front. They know that if they don't get rid of Hamas, that this could happen over and over again. Matter of fact, the head of Hamas said it's going to happen. So we're on the goal line.
There's like 30,000 of them left. I mean, it's not like 12. It's like 30,000 of them are still there.
And where are the hostages? There.
They're dead.
No, but they know that that's where they're located. They're probably all dead. Maybe there's 5 left. But you talk about a war crime.
Can you imagine?
They were alive. That you had 40-year-old men that were alive that are now dead there. So you talk about war crimes. They're killing hostages.
How about don't you think a lot of these women got impregnated because they're raping them, and they might have had...
If they're not dead.
If they're not dead, yeah.
If they're not dead. And so eventually they're not giving back the hostages. I think the last ceasefire where they thought they had an agreement, then it didn't. At the last minute, Palestine wanted to release dead hostages. Like, not living hostages, dead, because I don't even know how many there are. You don't know how many real live ones are.
But the thing I can't wrap my head around is, okay, this is Joe Biden or Barack Hussein Obama's idea. Why is it like every Democrat in Congress and Senate follows this? Doesn't anybody other than Fetterman have and this Mayor Adams, another winner, have a conscience about it? It seems like everybody just follows this lead.
They're quiet. It's the squad. The things that they say.
The squad. Jeez, did you hear them yesterday?
Yeah, I mean,
my head starts.
It's unbelievable. But you know what? That's why, who's really quiet right now? Dr. Oz. Because you know what?
What?
As much as I was thinking, if I had to leave my kid with someone to take care of my kid, Fetterman or Dr. Oz, I couldn't believe that Fetterman beat Dr. Oz.
Great.
But he's great.
He's a Democrat. He's great. He
sticks to his own beliefs.
Yeah.
And he happens to be right, no matter how much flack
he
gets.
To Harvard, even in that hoodie. No matter Your alma mater, Gavi, my alma mater.
No matter how much flack he gets, he stays. And by the way, it's common sense. The border. He's on the right side of the border.
He's great. And Mayor Adams this week, he is a tough ass cop. I didn't like the guy, but I'm starting to like him.
It's funny. I think Joe Biden's so corrupt, and everything that he's doing with this the courthouse. If you're a politician that goes against him, he tries to make life like Adams. They tried to he's under. Aren't they watching him, the government now? He's under watch.
Well, they raided his campaign phones
and his assistant
computers,
and those other stuff.
Right. Now, took him out of the house.
Now they got that Democratic Congressman Cuellar,
right?
Because he is for the border. So anybody who goes against them, they immediately try to
Well, where is Menendez or whatever, however you say his name? Did he make a deal? I mean,
Menendez is he's quiet right now.
Yeah,
because I think he has the goods on Joe.
Yeah, of course he does.
He has the goods on Joe, and by the
him and his wife are on separate sides now.
I know that's their game plan to do everything. Okay. But you look at Fetterman, and Joe Biden is sitting there, and they're having a discussion. They're saying this big, heavy, hooded guy is causing me this aggravation, and they're like, but Joe.
He flipped the Senate.
We need Pennsylvania.
Right.
And he's one of the senators of Pennsylvania. You do anything to piss him off, you could lose Pennsylvania and you lose the election. So Joe has to be kind of nice to this guy, even though under his breath. Well, I don't even know if under his breath. I don't even know if he knows what. I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
No, he's out of it.
I mean,
do you see now he can't even get up the baby steps of Air Force One?
I know.
Now he's tripping up.
I know, and
and his moon shoes.
Not to jump all over, but
we are jumping all over.
But here's Joe Biden And he had his first interview with CNN yesterday.
Right.
It was his very first interview they did that's real. And the CNN host said, Joe, President Biden, how do you feel about the people with the economy feeling that they're getting further and further behind? They can't afford this. They're living paycheck to paycheck. Inflation's like out of control. And you have 6 months. What are you going to do in 6 months? And Joe Biden said, when I took over office, inflation was at 9%. Well, first of all, you got to fact check him. It wasn't 9%. It was 1.4%. 9% is what he created in the 17 months. Then he's basically saying that you have more money in your pocket. He's doing a fantastic job, and he turned around the economy, and he's check it off. Like he completed his task.
He should go on the Price is Right and see if he can guess what a box of rice-a-roni costs. Gallon of milk, gallon of gas.
Right, it would be unbelievable.
Roll of toilet paper.
Yeah, he probably still thinks a hot dog's 5 cents. You know, where
he goes to Costco.
Yeah, so I mean, like she tried to help him out,
right?
But you know what? As much as you have your home team trying to pull out the words for you, he just went off and said it was I did my job. He thinks it's the greatest thing in the world. He has no idea what's about to go.
Well, that's that's his job for the week, that one interview. Now he's off for the week.
And he works now on Wednesdays.
Right.
Do you know why he works on Wednesdays?
Because the Trump trial is off on Wednesdays.
Right, and he's trying
was I right?
You were right.
Oh, my God.
You were right.
The
Trump trial is off on Wednesdays, and he knows that Trump campaigns. And he wants to try to take some of the press away.
Well, let's talk about Stormy Daniels. She just got off the stand in the Trump trial. Now, I don't know what your opinion is, but, they eviscerated her the last day. I mean, here is this woman who literally, admittedly slept with over 5,000 guys. One of her porn videos, she had sex with 9 guys at the same time. Right. And she recalls intimate details of her affair with Donald Trump 18 years ago.
But no, she blacked out before the sex.
I don't want to break Donald Trump's bubble. He wasn't president back there. He was a bankrupt real estate developer. Why is it so notable that she remembers the color of his boxer shorts and every other thing he did?
Well, first of all, she has a problem with power. She said that she doesn't like that people with power can control other people. But you have to look at it like if Donald Trump was a plumber or an electrician or a roofer, would she have gone to his hotel room and slept with him even though she was married? I don't think so. So it was the power.
She was married? Well, what's it matter? She's a porn star.
She's a porn star. So, but here's the other thing. She says that she wasn't on alcohol or drugs, and she blacked out because it was intimidating.
What was intimidating?
And I want to know, if you're about to sleep with 9 different guys, wouldn't that be more intimidating than sleeping with some guy that's 60 years old?
Well, she accused him of having small hands. Don't you remember that back then?
But
Donald got up there and said, "Look at my hands; they're not small."
But I don't. As much as it's so easy to say, Donald Trump, who I'm sure has fooled around. I believe the Karen McDougal he had an affair with.
Do you?
I believe that. I mean, she was a playmate that I think he liked. But as far as this one's concerned, he could have had a lot of people. I think you told me Donald Trump is a germaphobe.
Beyond, he's like that Howie Mandel. I mean, Donald Trump only very recently shakes people's hands. Up until very recently, the guy, he's like skeeved by breathing the same air, like we're in this, room here. He wouldn't do that. He's a germaphobe. And you're trying to tell me he had sex with a porn star, slept with over 5,000 guys without a condom? I don't think so. That's what she testified to. Not happening.
No, she said she blacked out. So then she also wrote, she wrote down that she never slept with him. I mean, that was one of the articles that were put in, that were submitted today. So you really don't know 100%, and I agree with you. I mean,
he's a germaphobe. Now he's having sex with this and he's married.
That's a cesspool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
right.
a cesspool.
It's like beyond disgusting. And now he's married. He's going to go have sex without a condom with her and go home to his wife. I don't think so. I'm not buying it.
Right.
But you know what's crazy? She owes him $500,000. She lost that defamation suit. And they're talking about, well, she wrote a book. She got $800,000 for that. She did this. She got that. All this money that she got. Well, across from the golf course, Trump Palm Beach, there's a little dive shitty bar that is a topless bar. It's a dump. If you take 3 guys in there and add them up, they don't have a full mouth of teeth. I mean, it's a real dump.
They use a little plastic swimming pool to bob for apples and stuff like that.
It is so gross. But right before the last election, they have this like cheap billboard out front. Stormy Daniels here. It's directly across the street from the entrance to the golf club. He passes by it every day. He plays
and
golf.
she wasn't interested in money. That's whole shit.
Wait a second. So Stormy Daniels was there for 3 nights when I tell you there were 1,000 cars down the street. She didn't report any of that money. How much money do you think she made in 3 nights in tips? A lot.
Right. By the way,
it's 2 miles from Palm Beach. All the Palm Beach guys went. Everybody went.
You know what's funny? Everybody tries to make the money and lie and do things against Trump. But you know what happens to them? Avenatti. Where is he right now?
Jail.
Where was Michael Cohen?
Jail.
And by the way, there's a chance he could end up back
Peter
there.
Navarro in jail. Weissenberg in jail. I mean, the good guys are going to jail, too.
Right. Manafort went to...
yeah, Paul Manafort went to jail.
But that's just because everybody wants to get him so much. I mean, do you see some of these...
But when are some of the prosecutors going to go to jail? Is Bragg? How about Fannie Willis? This is great. Fannie Willis, the Georgia case. Fannie Willis, I mean, this is your district attorney, folks. What kind of judgment? She has an affair and brings a guy on, really good-looking guy in these $5,000 suits to prosecute the case. The guy has done nothing more than traffic tickets. I mean, really, where are their brains? I don't even understand how they think.
Then the guy Wade sits down for an ABC interview.
I saw that.
And basically, with a straight face, says, when a company, fooling around,
right.
relationships
it's as old as
right. Relationships in the workplace is like American apple pie.
Right.
Like everybody does it. Not everybody sits there and does
gets
that.
$700,000 in contracts.
Yeah, like he makes everybody does it, and it's normal. He's trying to make like it's American to do it.
Well, the best thing is, first her name is Fanny. That's pretty funny. Fanny.
Right.
But the best thing is he claims to make $14,000.
You can put the load on me.
He claims to make $14,000 a month, and he wears these $5,000 suits. He drives a Porsche. He goes on all the 4 vacations with her in a year. I would love to be able to see how he budgets his money. It's unbelievable. It's a great thing. But, I mean, you called it, Govy. You're Kreskin. Govy here said Trump's going to roll the table on all 4 cases. Let's go over them. He posted his bond for $175. That case is done. $175
Wait. That's not just done. This guy, Ergon, is taking some heat.
I saw that.
I mean, that's like new, where he could be in trouble. He could be disbarred as a judge.
I love that.
I mean, so he's not going to have to pay that $175. And that Carol, that case that he lost,
he posted his money.
I guarantee you, he's going to appeal that, and they're going to overturn that.
So those are 2 cases. The Fanny,
Go on.
Rain on Me, or whatever that song is.
Smith,
the Jack Smith. The guy, I told you, I've been in that.
He could go to jail.
Been in that Mar-a-Lago ballroom and bathroom 50 times. I've never seen boxes there.
Right.
And they have all these pictures. I told Govy right away. I said, Govy, I've never seen any boxes there. I was there 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 6 months ago. Never saw a box. The case is tossed already.
But why did it take so long for it to get out that he took stuff out of the box, misplaced it, doesn't know where it's at? I mean, how does that happen that it takes so long?
Well, what I worry about, Govy, is where do we stand, America? Joe Biden is a mess. You have college campuses, all this nonsense that's going on. You have all this stuff with Israel. What is the world looking at us and thinking? What's going to happen with Taiwan? What are these Palestinians and Arabs going to do when they see all the, they're winning. They're winning. They're kicking our ass.
Well, where I see the United States, where it's besides Joe Biden, I think they look at it, and if Joe Biden was sharp, things would be a lot more difficult for Donald Trump. It's because he's not sharp. I mean, let's see who he surrounded himself around. If Joe Biden was a sharp guy, he has his Attorney General, Garland, handpicked. Can the guy be any more corrupt than Garland?
I would love to have a guy like that. He's doing everything he's supposed to do for him.
Except Biden's an idiot.
Right.
But if Biden was a sharp guy,
he got Hunter off. He's prosecuted.
Garland would be like the greatest Attorney General, the best wingman possible. If you were a sharp guy, Wray as the FBI, he would be fantastic for a president's FBI guy. But these guys keep looking like fools because Biden has them looking for MAGA people. By the way, just to say one thing funny, that Wooders congresswoman,
right? She's old.
She thinks that if Donald Trump wins, there are these white supremacists hiding in the hills and in the mountains who are going to come down. They're waiting for the signal, the bat signal, to come down and to take out the country. I mean,
this is the best.
I mean, that's scary that she's a
Trump
congresswoman.
Trump has a 4-year record. Biden has a 4-year record. Now both were presidents. Look at it, folks. Look at the kids. Look at the campuses. Look at Israel. You see it. There's a record. You decide. Draw a piece of paper, a line down the middle, put pluses and minuses. You can decide. I filled my gas tank up today. I paid for 93. I paid $5.49. Now, my brother-in-law yells at me because I don't go to Costco. He gets it cheap there, but it's 10 miles out of my way. I'm not going.
And you don't want a chicken.
Right.
So, but, it's the...
I don't want a chicken.
But it's funny. You have Biden's telling you in this last interview that the job is complete. Like, he turned the economy around. So... if you're a young kid today and you got to look at these mortgage rates and you got to look at inflation like this,
buy a house.
You can't buy a house. And by the way, he just thinks I'm going to take out student debt. Some of the student debt went for philosophy majors. How does that help the electrician and the plumber who has to buy? He's on the hook for his truck. He maybe has a $70,000 truck that he needs to get to work. That's where he keeps all his gear. He should be able to write that off. I mean, he should be able to get that taken off. I mean, he didn't go to college. Why should a philosophy major or a sociology major get their...
Well, I mean, it's so bad. Every morning after I work out at Lifetime, shout out again to Lifetime, there's a cafe down there, and I get a vegan smoothie. So the girl that, hooks me up every morning tells me she's leaving. She needed a better job. I said, why? How much you make here? She said, before tips, $31 an hour. And she can't survive.
Wow.
She has a couple kids. She gets tips. I tip her every morning.
But that's more than double.
It's like $60,000 a year.
Right.
And she can, and plus tips, which I'm sure everybody, all my guys give,
right.
$2, $3, $5, whatever it is. So she's probably getting, I don't know how much more, and she can't survive on $31 an hour in this economy where gas and eggs and things are just crazy. You go out to one dinner, Big I was telling me it was his daughter's birthday and they wanted to go over to New York Prime, but they went to Longhorn because it was half the price. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny. I have a friend.
And I'm wondering, RFK, you ever see the ties he wears are like super skinny ties?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he does it to save money. They're so skinny.
I don't know, but you look at people who are, against Trump and you try to reason, you try to listen to them. Like they don't want to hear anything like, someone that likes Trump. So you'll try to listen to them. And the other day I was at the Boca Raton at the resort, and there was a mariachi band playing.
Yeah.
And one of my friends made a comment to me and said, "Oh, you lent them your gardeners for the day, like they could play, like, you know, because."
Well, you saw what the frat boys are doing. University of Pennsylvania. Tell everybody, the frat boys, U of P. There's a GoFundMe page, and University of Pennsylvania alumni all hired the mariachi band to play 24/7 on campus to irritate these Palestinian sympathizers. They raised $50,000.
That's great. That's a great thing.
And the mariachi band
just
is
keeps playing.
And they had 48,000 raised 2 days ago. I'm sure it's probably now that you contributed and all your friends.
My friend said to me, "Did I lend them my gardeners like to play this?" And I said, "No. To tell you the truth, 5 people washed up on shore, and it was and they washed up on shore because of Joe Biden, and that's why they're here. Not, you know, that's we have more people in Florida, by the way, that Joe Biden brought in without DeSantis even knowing about it. I think like 300,000 people.
Right, by airplane.
By airplane. So all these other cities are complaining. And by the way, Denver, the illegal immigrants there, they're complaining about they want better rights. They want better food. They're giving now their ultimatums that they want. I mean, I don't get it,
But anyway, before we go, I want to talk about the roast, the Tom Brady roast the other night. So Tom Brady, you know, they have these celebrity roasts.
It was long.
Yeah, 3 hours.
3 hours.
But I watched it over 3 days. I broke it up. But they had the roast master. He was great. They had Kevin Hart. He was the MC. He cursed a little too much.
Nikki Glaser was great.
Nikki Glaser was so funny. What was her joke? Her joke was she was saying to Tom Brady, "Tom, you have 7 Super Bowl rings. Wait a minute, you have 8. The one, you know, Giselle gave back to you."
Right. And that you basically gave up for an 8-9 season. You gave up your kids and your wife for an 8-9 season.
Everybody, it's on Netflix. The Roast of Tom Brady. You have the Roast Master.
And what was great about it, you know, Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick, it was...
yeah, they don't like each other.
Well, no, after all these years, Robert Kraft had to let him go. And, you know, to Bill Belichick, he just thought, like, that job was his until he said it's not. He never thought he could be fired from this job. And Robert Kraft had to fire him because it was the pressure, and it was like... You know, he spent too long there. He was set in his ways, and they needed to go other ways.
Well, also, when Tom Brady left, you know, he didn't win again.
Right, but Tom Brady did.
Tom Brady did. So maybe Robert Kraft said, you know what?
And he loves Tom Brady, and, and they were probably talking. So what was really neat about this is that there was such tension there that they actually had Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick do a toast. You know, they brought them together to have a drink.
Right. And Bob Kraft was great. Bill Belichick was an asshole.
Right. And
he was kind of disgruntled.
And they asked Nikki Glaser the other day on the Howard Stern show when Brady went up to Jeff Ross and said no more massage jokes.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, was it real? And it was real. He looked at him as a father figure. He didn't need to hear a massage joke from an 87-year-old guy.
I mean, that Nikki Glaser was great. She said to Jeff Ross, "You lost all this weight and you're still fucking ugly." But no, the best line Nikki Glaser said, she said to Tom, let me tell you something. The worst advice you gave your wife was take jujitsu lessons.
Right. And they also said that after 5 years or 4 years, she's still a white belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, right. Oh, my God. It was so dirty. But that Kevin Hart, every word was a curse word. I mean, I was in the construction business my whole life. I mean, you know, I'm used to curse words, but I mean, it turned the hair on the back of my neck. But
he was great. He happens to be.
Yeah, Nikki Glaser was like, you know, let me keep this Kevin Hart. You know, he's 5'2", so Kevin Hart is short. So let me keep it Kevin Hart.
But you know, what's interesting is it took place at the Forum where the Lakers used to play. And to give a little background on the Forum, you know, that's where Magic Johnson and Kareem, that's where Showtime was started with Jerry Buss and everything. Well, in the locker room, they used to bring girls. You know, Jerry Buss was like a major ladies man.
Oh, was he?
Major ladies.
Doesn't his daughter go out with, what's his name?
Went out with Phil Jackson.
Yeah, Phil Jackson.
But they got divorced and everything.
Oh.
But he was a major ladies' man. You know, the whole cheerleader thing was created for him. Yeah. So he would bring Magic Johnson, and Magic Johnson started like really going heavy into the girls. Matter of fact, in the training room, in the forum, there was massive amounts of fucking going on. That's why they kept saying it. We're at the home of where the fucking started.
Oh.
And it was at the forum. And matter of fact,
okay.
that's
I didn't
the home,
get that joke.
Right, that was the home of the fucking. And that's where they're at right now. And basically, when Magic Johnson got HIV, he got it from a girl that not only slept with them at the forum there, she slept with 6 other guys on the team. So when the whole country was seeing that he came out with HIV, what the country didn't know is that there was a lot of other Los Angeles.
Is that a verified story? I mean, is that a real story?
It's pretty. Yeah. I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's verified. I know from my sources. I know from my sources there was several other people who were with the same girl. So they didn't. You know. So not AIDS doesn't. It's not like it's 100%. Like you know. So people were a little more nervous, like, wow, could you imagine a team getting knocked out from one girl? But that's where the home of the forum, and now they're back there.
So what is the forum now? I don't even know. Is it used for anything?
For like concerts
in
that area. It's not in the greatest area of, it's in Inglewood, not in the greatest area of California. And they all now have their own stadiums. The Clippers and Bombers building their own.
Was famous for the Brady Bunch. Remember that TV show? Yeah. But if everybody has a chance, and I recommend if Donald, you're listening, Mr. President, Mr. Ex-President, he did a celebrity roast with Jeff Ross, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago. It's the funniest celebrity roast, the roast of Donald Trump. And he sat there like a good guy.
I think was Snoop Dogg in that one?
Yeah, Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart. And, I mean, it was amazing. It was funny. And, I mean, you know, that Nikki Glaser was there and a couple other people made
Trump
fun of his
Trump was a great sport on that.
Oh, my God. It was unbelievable. It was a great show.
But by the way, Tom Brady's wife, ex-wife, Giselle, she's not happy about this.
Why not?
I mean, she came out and said, again, you chose your football friends over your family. Meaning, like, he sold out the family because there was a couple of jokes. But that
wasn't the reason he did it. He's getting paid, $30 million a year to be a broadcaster in 6 months or 5 months. So I think part of the game plan was get him out there, make fun of him, get all this bullshit
show him that
out.
He's human, that he could take
a punch.
But how much did he get paid, do you think, for this?
I think probably nothing. I think it's charity. I think they give it to charity.
I bet you, if it could be charity, but I bet you he got more than $10 million.
I don't think he got anything.
I bet you.
By the way, if you roast me, Gavi, I'll give it all to charity. There's a lot of material.
I could bring in a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be standing around the block.
We might need to fill
3 ex-wives will be in the front of the line.
We might need to bring up the forum for this place. It would be like over and over again. Jeez.
But I don't think he got paid. I mean,
he definitely got paid.
Really?
It's going to be the highest rated show on
Everybody's
Netflix this
talking
year.
About it, yeah.
And I guarantee you they win an Emmy for the production and everything.
I'm embarrassed to tell you, I did not have Netflix. I have basic cable. I bought it just to watch that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I am now a Netflix subscriber.
Netflix is great.
Because of this time, I wanted to see the Tom Brady roast. So it worked.
Well, by the way, watch the golf stories on Netflix.
Okay.
They choose 4 or 5 golfers. They also do it with tennis, and you follow them through the year where you don't know what they're going to do. So you see the pressure that they're on to win.
That's cool. Like on the
they follow
them.
The cameras are on them.
I love that.
And you get to see how. Yeah. The disappointment when they lose, the camera comes home with them. And it's like you get to see what they go through. And then you get to see the guy from Scotland that won the U.S. Open the other day. I forget his name.
Right.
He won it up in Brookline. He was where he won the amateur. Anyway, they show you him winning the U.S. Open.
Wow.
After all
with
these
the live mics and everything,
and the pressure of the endorsements, and
there's a caddy. You hear the caddy talking to him. You
hear the wife. You hear the wife.
Wow.
I mean, they had Kopka. They had And by the way,
I love Kopka's wife.
Well, by the way, she took this thing when they said, by the way, do you mind the camera following you the whole time? God. She was doing outfit changes. She made like it was about her.
Yeah, she's hot.
I mean, she was a Florida State, girl that she had her eye pinned on him.
She's like that Gretzky's wife. What's his name?
Gretzky's better than...
Paulina Gretzky, right?
Right.
Well, Govy gave me some bad news. He's not going to be around next week. We're going to try and squeeze a show in another day. He's going up. A little shout out for your...
Going up to Philadelphia. I got my nephew's bar mitzvah. But first, you know what I'm going to do?
Well, they have guards at the synagogue.
Yeah. But you know what I'm doing Sunday down here?
What?
I am going to the Miami Marlins Philadelphia Phillies game. The Phillies are in town.
You and 300 other people.
No, not 300. There'll be 15,000.
It's Mother's Day. Well, that's right.
15,000 Philly fans.
Yeah.
And there'll be...
really? 15,000 Philly fans?
Yeah, and there'll be 600 Marlin fans.
Who's that? Bruce Sherman? Who owns the Marlins? Sherman,
I don't know,
think.
But they're so bad that they already surrendered this year. So there'll be like 600 Marlin fans. The rest will be Philly fans.
But isn't that... It's air conditioned,
and
right?
my mom, passed away, so I don't have to worry about Mother's Day there.
Right.
And my his mother is, I don't know, playing pickleball.
Right. Well, that sounds like a fun day. Are you taking the Bright Line?
No, it's Sunday, so it's easy to drive down there and come back.
Right.
So I'm going to do that.
Well, Govy, I'm wishing you safe travels. Have a great time. Is this a black tie affair or?
No, this is going to be, by the way, Reading Terminal.
Oh, great. How fun's that? Oh, my God. The food there is insane.
And then at the house where they have, it's like a sports arena outside, so they have everything.
So how do they do that with the food courts? Are all of them open for that?
I'm not sure. I think he rented out the Reading Terminal. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure.
That's not going to be good for the diet. I mean, that's the best place in the world for food. The Philly cheesesteaks, the pizzas.
I haven't been there in years.
Oh, my God. The pretzels, the soft pretzels there are insane.
Wow.
Some of the desserts, they have that chocolate Nutella crepes.
I might even take a drive down to Kensington to see if this, she's cleaning up the encampments of Kensington. I mean, the opioids and thing, I want to see the zombies,
crazy
going around there.
Well, have a safe trip, and we'll see you when you get back, Gabby.
All right, take care.
Take care.